What's up, people? Happy Sunday, and welcome back to Soul Food Sundays. Today we're going to be coming from the Sacred Rebels Oracle, which is one of my newest decks. It is the description is some pretty extensive reading, so I'm hoping we'll get one message, because if not, we'll be here all day. But if you got time, I got time. So we're gonna see what message Spirit has for us. We know that today, well, overnight, like late last night and into this morning, we experienced the full moon in Capricorn. We also had a lunar eclipse, which is bringing about some energy of some releasing some things and some things being revealed. So those are some energies that you experience in your life in the coming up weeks. That moon energy, that lunar eclipse energy brought that in for you. So let's just seek a message that will better help us to navigate that energy. I hope you guys have had a good week. My week has been pretty dope. Thinking back, there's not much that I can really complain about. And if I could, I wouldn't, because like the old people say, it really wouldn't do me any good. But I'm looking forward to an even better week. So we're going to see what messages come forth to help us do so. So Father God, Mother Earth, ancestors and spirit guides, come to you first and foremost humbled to tell you thank you and give gratitude for all your love and light, for all of your protection throughout this week. With so many things going on around us, we thank you for what portion of stability we have within us. Now, God, we ask that you bring forth the best messages for the highest good of all those under the sound of my voice. May something be said, may something be heard that penetrates their mind, body, and soul, helping them to navigate throughout this week successfully. Amen. So, Spirit, what message do you have for us? What message? Gotta be specific. Oh, I ain't gonna take none of y'all, because that was almost like 5 cards that came out. And if it's meant to come out, it would definitely come out again. Bruh, these was the same cards I got the last time I used these cards. Okay. Number 10, releasing allegiances. So if there's anybody or anything that you have an allegiance to that may be an unhealthy attachment, an unhealthy habit that you need to release, again, full moon energy is conducive to releasing. It's a good time to declutter your mind, to declutter your homes. If you have things that you're not using that you need to get rid of, it's a good time for that. If you need to end some relationships or release some energy, you need to take a if you need to take an Epsom salt bath to just detox your body, or do a fruit and veggie detox, the full moon is the time of a full moon is the good time to do that, because that energy supports those types of activities. So the card is telling us that we need to release some of our allegiances to some unhealthy things or people, some things that are not conducive to our growth. Collaborative dreaming. Now, in my mind, you can collaboratively dream. Say if you have a telepathic relationship with someone and you're dreaming of them and they're dreaming of you, that would be collaborative dreaming. Also, if you are co-creating in this world, you are working on manifesting some things and getting in line with the universe, getting in line with the creator, to co-create and bring to fruition some things that you want to manifest in your life. That would be collaborative dreaming as well. Also, this week you want to be mindful of listening for truth. You want to be in a state where when you're communicating, you're listening. You're not doing all the talking. Listening for truth requires silence. It requires quiet in your mind and your mouth. so that you can be in tune with what messages are coming forth for you. So that could be in conversation with someone. That could also be just as you are moving throughout your day. Listen for the truth. Listen for what resonates with you as the truth. If it is in conversation, don't just listen to respond. Listen so that you can get the truth of the matter and accept it and move forth with the truth. The top and bottom card, which are often significant, is the word wants to be written. So if some of you have some things within you that are aching to come out, some poems, some novels, some stories, some articles, probably got some writers out there. There's some things that are within you that are longing to come out, some creative endeavors that you need to put your energy and efforts and resources toward. So you want to keep that in mind. Also, don't sleep on your dreams. Don't sleep on your talents. And the bottom card is new birth, guarded vigilantly. Each of these messages are things that are leading you to rebirth, that are leading us to transformation and a new life. As you see here, this card here has butterflies in the image. Butterflies are symbolic of new birth. It's also a purple card, purple representing spiritual power, psychic abilities, intuitive knowing, spiritual connection, royalty. Purple is a color that represents those things in your life. So those are also things you want to keep in mind as you're moving throughout the week and working toward manifesting transformation in your life. So I'm going to read the messages for listening for truth and collaborative reading, because like I said, the messages for these cards are extensive. Some of them, not all of them. So let's see how they connect and how they are in harmony and what they are trying to tell us that would better help us move forward throughout the week. I hope that these messages come to mind as you are experiencing different things throughout the week. We don't know what the week holds. We don't. But these messages tell us that when whatever comes up, to use these tools, these messages, to better help your decision making, better help you to move forth with more of a sound mind and heart about what it is that you should be doing or that you want to do. So listening for truth. Truth speaks to us constantly, but not always in words. It may communicate through a feeling that is hard to put into words, but brings an inexplicable sense of peace, trust, and the knowledge that somehow everything is going to work out perfectly, even if there's a little evidence of how it's all going to happen. You're being asked to listen for the truths beneath the words rather than the superficial message of the words themselves. This is especially true for the communications of those around you. The press, the newspapers, and the mass media. You will begin to hear fear in the words and actions of those around you. Even as they preach love, listen deeper. Listen for truth. And that is so true. Before I even move forward, I really want to expound on that and just encourage you all to listen deeper. Don't just listen to what people are telling you, especially on the news, on these TV shows, reality shows, and with all that's going on in society. Don't just listen to what they're saying. A lot of it is scripted, or it's some cliche saying that seems fitting to say in the moment. They're counting on us to take their word for whatever is going on, and by them I mean the powers that be. They're counting on us to take their word at face value, and we are being called to the floor. We're being called to look deeper into the messages that we're receiving. Make sure that what people are saying to you and their actions are adding up. And then not only that, make sure that they are being consistent, because that is where the truth lies. If a person is lying, that lie is going to come through. It's going to be some cracks in the story. somewhere. You'll see it either in their words, their actions, or their inconsistency somehow. So be mindful of that. Don't just be superficial or fall for superficial messages. Look deeper. This oracle comes with a message of truth for you. You are hearing something that's not being said, and what you're hearing is truthful. You may feel as though you're the only one that's really ready to hear or see it. Perhaps you've been working in a situation or loving in a relationship where truth is consistently denied. We live in a world where truth is frequently avoided out of fear of what it might reveal. At the basis of such actions, consciously or not, is a deep sense of unhealed, toxic shame. If you or someone else is fearful that the truth will expose rather than free and heal, then some personal healing is required. And that's one thing about the truth that we all should bury within our hearts and minds, is that the truth feels freeing. No matter how good or bad it is, no matter how positive or negative it is, or what impact it has on your life, opposed to a lie. A lie feels heavy. A lie is that thing that when somebody tells you something, it doesn't sit well. It stays on your mind, or even if it sits well in that moment, it comes back around like, I don't know. 9 times out of 10, it's a lie. Either they're lying to you or you're lying to yourself. But when it's the truth, it's peaceful. It sits well with you. You can sleep good at night when you've been exposed to the truth, or you should be. And if you can't, again, there's a lie somewhere within the truth. Sometimes people think they tell you a little bit of the truth. They give you 85% of the truth. They've told you the truth. That's still a lie. So it says, it is time for letting go of old wounds in favor of a greater sense of self-love and acceptance. That's what this full moon energy is bringing in for us. We're being called to let go of old wounds in favor of a greater sense of self-love and acceptance. And when you love yourself and when you accept yourself, you're willing to, letting go of old wounds is not even an option. It's a must. You understand the importance of that for your survival. You're being asked to love yourself enough to honor the truth, even if you feel you're the only one doing so. Sacred rebels need truth like lungs need oxygen. Truth keeps the energy of life flowing through the rebellious heart. Lies dampen the spirit of the sacred rebel. Even if those with less awakened hearts fear the truth, you must not turn away from it. Don't resent this state of affairs. Perhaps your job is to show that truth can be witnessed, even when many want to hide from it. What others do is always their choice. But through your honorable deeds, done with integrity, you will be set free, no matter what the outcome. You are a truth seeker. Never deny or try to quiet this down to make others comfortable. You are meant to be an agitator at times, even though you don't have to confront people to do it. You don't necessarily have to say a word, though sometimes you will. Often you will agitate in the most loving sense by unveiling truth simply through your knowings. Hold compassion for the truths you behold. Do not use them as knives to cut another or yourself with harshness, but as the clear insight that allows one to loosen the knots that bind simply by knowing which thread to gently tug. This oracle brings you guidance. If you've been worn down and depressed by the lies, gossip, deceit, or backstabbing going on around you, don't fret. Get out in nature and spend some time communing with the infinite. Healing will come to you now. No matter how many times and how many ways or by how many tongues untruth is spoken, you know what you know in your sacred, rebellious heart. That truth is your connection to the living truth of life itself. Don't give up. Just open up to a healing and knowing that the truth always, just open up to healing and know that the truth always eventually prevails. In your healing process, place your hand very lightly at the front and back of your throat and say, I now release all vows of silence I have ever made, consciously or not. I now release all lies, deception, and painful words, spoken or unspoken, that are affecting my ability to clearly know and speak my truth. I am held in unconditional love with protection and grace. So be it. You have finished your healing process. You might like to say something true just to anchor it. How about, within me, Beyond all that rises and falls, only truth remains. I could not imagine. Let me quit lying. Yes, I can. I was gonna say I can't imagine the weight of walking around with living a lie. But if I could be frank, I've definitely done so. Um, and I can personally tell you how freeing it is to not allow yourself to do so, to release that baggage and live and stand boldly in your truth. So this week, if you find yourself with encounters, or as you are listening to this, some things come to mind that you know that you're not being honest with yourself about. Take time out to acknowledge the truth, to accept the truth, and to learn to live in that truth. Commit to the truth. Commit to living a life that is true to you, and don't accept anything that is not the truth from others. That does not necessarily mean calling them out, but you don't have to surround yourself with people who are not honest with themselves, because I guarantee you, if they're not honest with themselves, they're not honest with you. So the last card here is collaborative dreaming. I am curious here as to what the message for collaborative dreaming is. So let's see. I think I've been doing some collaborative dreaming myself. I have the most vivid dreams. Your heart is big enough to dream not only for yourself, but for a new humanity. Imagine a world that is healed with respect, understanding, and with community that fosters life. Even your dreams that relate to you alone will contribute positively to the greater good, because that is the nature of your heart. Your heart naturally and intelligently cooperates in a grand scheme of love and creativity, working to heal the hearts of the world. The heart creates win-win situations that benefit the individual and the collective. You are being asked to honor your growing desire to co-create with conscious, like-minded people. Your collaborative dreaming is a heart-inspired win-win, bringing mutual enhancement to yourself and others. The heart wants to love and be loved. Working with others creatively is a way to allow the heart to grow. It's a chance for you to learn how to honor yourself and others, and to find ways to live and let live, simply by growing and strengthening your active trust in your heart's guidance. You are asked to bear the rough patches that can happen when you work creatively with others. Ideas might clash, and there can be friction, particularly if you have different ways of working. Sometimes big dreams need more fire to ignite them into reality. More fire might require more friction along the creative path. It is not meant to be a permanent condition, just an aspect of the creative process for which you can learn something useful if you wish. Your guidance is to embrace any experiences of friction or tension within yourself or as you work with another, with compassion, detachment, and tolerance. Creative endeavors, particularly involving groups, can bring up unresolved issues about being valued, heard, or capable. They can also trigger disputes about taking responsibility, or inflame insecurities about being cast into unfamiliar roles of leadership or of having to follow. This may happen for you, for others, or for all involved. The stronger the creative energy that flows, the more likely that triggering will take place. It is the nature of creative energy to move in all directions. It doesn't just want to grow one project. Everything that comes into contact with it will grow. That means that the art and the artist are in the process of creation. This can be smooth, but it's more likely to be rough sailing, at least at times. This is not a sign that something isn't working. Far from it. It is more usually a sign that growth is happening and you are feeling the growing pains. This oracle is guiding you to stay in your integrity, honor what you feel, and remember why you've chosen to open up to group endeavors in the first place, especially if the group involvement becomes complex or challenging. Call on unconditional love each day and evening. It only takes a moment to do. I call on unconditional love. Please help and guide me and this project. You're going through this experience, or will be in the near future, because you're a part of a new creative learning program for humanity. This learning program is taking place at a spiritual level, and it requires highly individualistic and creative people to learn to work with each other without compromising who they are, in order to reach a common creative goal. It is wonderful, important, and challenging, and creative and spiritual work. You need a strong sense of self to be able to engage in the process and not lose your voice during the journey. You need a strong enough sense of self to be flexible and know when to bend rather than break. You have to intuit what is going to be a good heart inspired sacrifice for the greater good, and when you will need to stay true to your own voice for the greater good. Only the heart can guide you on these matters, and others may not always agree with your instincts and vice versa. That is part of the challenge of staying present so that the friction created can be channeled into creative energy rather than lost in emotional turmoil. In other words, stay out your feelings. Please remember that what really matters is that you hear your own voice. Others may or may not be able to receive it. When you hear your own voice, you'll be able to connect with your heart's truths. There it is again. Connect with your heart's truths. Listen for the truth. You will know when it's right to remain in a group or when you need to withdraw in order to work with others who resonate at a more appropriate vibration and perhaps more in harmony with your own. Releasing allegiances. You may find as you're listening to the truth and as you're considering your collaborative dreams and what you want to co-create in this world, that you need to release some allegiances to some people who don't support your dream. Not every collaboration will be long term. Sometimes the learning will be short, sharp, and possibly even painful before it turns into the wisdom that is gained from experience. At other times, the journey will be more loving, supportive, and harmonious. This is neither better nor worse, just different. This oracle comes with particular guidance for you at this phase of your life path and creative journey. You're no longer to think of yourself as the lone wolf. Yes, you have your unique path to tread, but you now have tasks to accomplish for your own growth and the greater good that require more than a one-man band. You will still do your own work, of course. However, others are on the way to help you. There is only so much a single drop of water can do on its own, though it is precious. Together, those drops can become a wave and make a considerable impact in the world. You are a part of a wave of loving consciousness, and you are meant to be exploring collaborative dreams, healing relationships, and conscious communities. Some connections will be short lived and perhaps involve some learning experiences that you are hopeful of never needing to repeat. Others will be longer term loves. Either way, you will emerge more of yourself and more in connection with the world that wants your ideas, presence, energy, and light. This oracle brings a message to those of you that are involved in a group and are struggling over whether to continue or let it go and move on. You are asked to trust your heart and not to allow any group to become more powerful than the wisdom of your own heart. Always allow the sacred rebel within you to question authority. Is it loving and wise authority, or is it coming from a place of fear-based control? Look to your heart's wisdom to discern whether your involvement in a group is healthy or not. Sometimes a group can only receive so much of our energy before it is time to move on. Sometimes a group is not receiving us at all, but we feel that we are meant to be a guiding hand in it for a period of time before our heart urges us to let go. Ask for guidance, do the healing process below, and trust in the feelings that become clear to you over time. You will know what to do, and you must always trust your own voice above any other. Your healing process includes imagining a chain of paper dolls, all connected, forming a circle. Imagine that the circular chain of paper dolls can be filled with a beautiful golden light, which begins in the heart of each paper doll. The light shines out and shimmers, making the paper dolls radiate, shining and golden. Imagine a feeling of love, connection, help, and goodwill shining along with the golden light. Stay with that image or feeling as long as it feels good for you. Then simply open your eyes and you have completed your healing process. I hope that this week you all are mindful of listening to your truth so that you are able to release any allegiances that are not conducive to your growth or conducive to what it is that you are trying to bring into fruition in your life. I pray that your light shines bright, and if at any point you find that your light is being dimmed by those around you, that you are able to detach and disconnect from that negative energy and still allow your light to shine for the world to see and contribute your positive energy to the greater good of humanity. So I hope you guys have an awesome week. I hope this message found you well. Peace.